Hey guys, Calejandro here, and welcome back to another episode of Calejandria. In this episode, we're moving back near the capital, beside Eastwood, because in the last episode we focused on Canluran, which is a different city, the eastern city from the capital, and I decided, why don't we come back, because I left a large empty plot at the side of Eastwood, to the north of Eastwood. So that's what we're building today, and what we're building in the next episode too. So in this episode, as you're seeing right now, I am currently placing down, I will be building an apartment complex. It's a luxury apartment, private residences kind of thing, along the waterfront, I mean the riverside. I'm using these Dubai residential buildings from the workshop, and these assets are great because they are the same types of buildings, but they come in different heights, so you can play around with them and make your own type of little district, just purely made out of these buildings, and you can rearrange them, change their where they face, their orientation, their rotation, and you can also adjust their heights if you wanted to. And with that, I'm also adding this elevated terrace, as you can see, using these buildings. These are the vanilla assets. I'm trying to lessen my use on assets because City Skylines, my computer can't handle that many assets because it will take a lot longer to load, which it already does take a long time to load this game. So we'll just try to maximize, do with what we have, and be creative about it, which is what we do with most games, especially with City Skylines. So I'm creating this elevated terrace connecting these two groups of buildings together. The one here to the left is the north one, and to the right is the south one. And I decided to build this because this area is very much near the downtown. It's a very busy area, and you wouldn't want to live at the lower levels because it would be quite noisy. So I decided to add this type of leveled thing. Like at the bottom part, it's like stores, and the middle will be offices and hotels or whatnot, and then the top parts, the buildings, the apartments, those will be the residential areas and where people actually live. And this is kind of an exclusive community. When I loaded the game, there was actually like I don't know, 5,000 people living here, because those assets that I used for the base are residential and they were clumped together. So just take note of that. And I'm using these concrete walls to serve as the first level of the terrace, because I actually planned on putting a lot of levels, but I just ended up with 2, and the bottom parts would be more secluded and private because it's not in the middle of everything, and it's like, I don't know, I think that the top part is more foot traffic is heavier there because all of the apartments are interconnected. They have access to the top, and that may be exclusive to them, but a lot of people use it. And these here, the 2 lower levels, are owned by the hotels and the residents only, so only they get access. It's a very private kind of thing, and I took inspiration from the private residences in Manila, I guess, in the Metro Manila in the Philippines, because there are quite a lot of these private developments by the major corporations there, the major developers like Ayala Land and SFDC, Philinvest, So they were a really huge inspiration for this type of build and for the past other builds like the Robinson Small. Everything is carefully planned and everything is located just at just the right spot. And these two buildings are interconnected by this bridge, which I'm going to be building, which I already built or will be building. You will just see them in the cinematics later on, and I forgot to detail it. So after I shot the cinematics, I realized, oh, I forgot to detail it, so I just detailed it again. And yeah, as you can see here right now, I am placing down pathways that just are not gridded. They are straight lines, but they look organic, and I was having a hard time designing these, so I just decided, why don't I just make it look like it was an organically flowing pathway, but it still had the structure of a grid, of a straight line. So instead of it being too curved, it's more angular, if you could say. It gives it a little bit of modern feel, especially the curves of the roads, as you can see there, of the pathways, and that adds a little bit of a nice touch. And since this is elevated, it was really a challenge to place these trees, because I needed to elevate the land under it. So I used roads. If you've seen, or you will see, I used roads under there, and then I elevated those roads so that the land would be leveled, so that I can place the trees in these areas right here are not level with the ground. So I used tall buildings that just peaked above the roofs. And yeah, I'm using these props, and to detail it, I don't go into too much detail in detailing in this series, because as much as I want to detail it, it's not really viable economically or physically with what I have. And I am planning on expanding Calejandria and building a lot more, so I want to keep it down a bit. It's like a mediocre mid-level type of detailing, not too much, not too less, it's just right, so that you will see that it's still a little bit realistic, custom and grounded, while not being too heavy on the assets and mods. And detailing these areas, I've used, on the lower level we have 2 levels of terraces. The bottom levels I used mostly trees, because they were still at the level of the ground, because I elevated the ground, as I've said. But on the upper part, I actually used, you will see later, I used these trees that are actually buildings, and they don't snap to the terrain, and they don't follow that, they don't conform to the terrain, so you can place them how you want. So yeah, you'll see that later. As I'm finishing detailing this, I will give you a little preview of what this looks like in the end. Now we've finished the lower terrace of the residences. I still haven't got a name for these residences, but if you guys have any suggestions on what I should name this, comment down below. I think it would be more like something luxurious, something American, I guess, an American name, I think. A private name, like a business type of name, like Stanford, like that, or something like the Charleston or something like that, something fancy, something elegant. You guys decide. I will be choosing in the comments section which one has the best name for this build that I'm building, this luxury apartment. This is kind of a nice place to live in, if I say so myself. If I had the money, because I checked the current stats of this in the city statistics, and the land value here is so high, and I guess I think each apartment would retail from, I know, hundreds, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't know, even $1 million. But speaking of $1 million of dollars, I still have, well, I'm planning on building a very, very luxurious area. Like, as you've seen, I've been building these luxurious areas in the city, and that's because if you ever follow the series quite long, that's because I'm building the capital, and this is the entrance of the Republic of Calejandria, and they planned on. And actually, as I've said in the first episode, if you haven't seen the first episode, I leave click the description box. I mean, you'll see it right at the top corner. It'll be popping there. It's a Millennium inspired build. I also explained the story of Calejandria in the Eastwood episode. So if you want to click that, link in the description. Oh, my mic just fell. Quite sorry about that. So yeah, if you want to hear more stories about Calejandria, you could watch those 2 videos. But I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the story if you haven't followed. So Calejandria is a very rich island nation in the Pacific, I think, in the tropics, and they got so rich from oil so quick that the infrastructure basically couldn't catch up. So the people were rich. I mean, the country was rich, but the people weren't, because all the money was just kept in the country and nothing was being really being invested in. So the country took a big step, made huge steps and strides towards making Calejandria the best place that they can be, to make it the best place it really is. So yeah, they invested tons and tons of money in redevelopment, construction, and redesigning their cities. And the biggest one is Calejandria. This is their model project, and as a success of the city, a lot of the biggest names in the country and foreign investors also chose this site in the capital. And I kept speaking and forgot that there was a preview right here. Terribly sorry about that. I often get too clouded up. I mean, too busy in my mind, distracted. I think that's because I have ADHD. It's quite hard to control it, but we get by. I can get too carried away at doing things, or not have any care of doing anything, and I felt that's why this video is a bit delayed, because I didn't feel like doing it. That's why I decided to leave Calejandria, because it was just too meh. And the camera keeps falling though. I mean, the microphone. If any of you have hard times thinking, being creative, doing what you do, it's okay. You have to take a break. Sometimes you just gotta get inspiration. Go outside. I mean, don't go outside with a lot of people. Right? If you can go outside, then you can go outside, and if you can't go outside, talk with your friends or watch something inspiring, get inspired, scroll through Pinterest, or whatever you need to feel your creative soul, because sometimes you have those days when we can't think of what to do. So I guess. Oh, wait. I didn't notice this, but we're actually nearing the end of the episode. That was fast for me. That was fast. The video was fast, but this project took a long time. Because I was quite busy. I had a lot of things to do in my in my life. But yeah, we're back at Calejandria, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, even though it took a lot of time. But I guess I think this was worth it. Taking a step to continuing and to make something, to create, be creative. So if you want to see more of the things that I create, consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so that you wouldn't miss an upload of mine, because as you've seen, I've uploaded whenever I want to, but I guess I should be uploading every week. Every other week, but I'll be uploading. Calejandro will always be there as the computer allows, because I don't have that much of a strong computer, for those who are asking in the comments what my specs are. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, comment down below what you want to see next, and subscribe, because it really helped me, because I'm just starting out on YouTube. And yeah, this has been Calejandro, and I'll see you on the next one.